What's up, everyone? Another episode of Season Ticket giving you the sports facts. Dan Hooley here, along with my good friend Scott Schroff.
Hello, people.
Bernardo will not be with us for the time being. We got a huge episode for you guys today, particularly concerning football free agency, some basketball stuff, some baseball. But we're going to start with one of the bigger stories that everybody kind of expected to happen, but now it's here. Here we are. And that's Peyton Manning. Hanging up the jersey.
Yeah, finally retiring at 39 years old. Played his entire career with the Broncos and Colts. Obviously, two-time Super Bowl champion, one-time MVP because he was not winning the MVP for that last.
Not even this year, like just
not even close. It was, hey, I mean, whatever. Great career. I mean, one of the best careers, if not the best career ever.
I consider him one of the best of all time.
Yeah, a lot of people consider him the best of all time. Some of them consider him not the... I mean, personally, I consider Brady the best of all time. But,
sadly.
But yeah, sadly, coming from a Jets fan. But, I don't know. Peyton Manning has always been the, quintessential... he's always been the nice guy, the good guy. Other than the trainer story that's come out in recent times.
But... obviously we're going to have to wait for that to play out.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting time.
I was not there,
Obviously, if the allegations are correct, and if he even admitted them, the story's a little bit confusing. Yes, that's bad. But right now we're talking about his career.
We're going to talk his sports career.
Yeah.
He's got, like Scott said, two-time Super Bowl champ, one MVP. He's the all-time leader in career touchdowns with 539 and 71,940 yards.
Yeah.
I was expecting the last number there. And a five-time league MVP.
A five-time league MVP. You've got to be a little bit good for that one. You gotta, and crazy because he had his best years, some of his best years at least, towards the end of his career. Like just 2 years prior, he was doing very good, surprisingly.
Yeah,
and I thought it was very good.
Well, you know what? I think this is now where we kind of saw that he was going to be retiring soon because he did not have a good season this year.
It was time for him to retire. Honestly,
exactly.
He needed to do this.
He had success after going to Denver, but now his career was starting to sour. And I guess he saw that. He said, "You know what? Before I make an ass of myself, I'm out."
Yeah, he could have came out and said, "Hey, I can try one more season." Brett Favre, the whole thing. But
there were reports of him talking with representatives from the Los Angeles Rams, but apparently that fell through. And with that, he said, "You know what?
He figured it's better
I'm done
than,
for this. I'm done. I'm gonna go."
Yeah, exactly. Peyton's had a great career. Hang up the cleats.
Don't beat Brett Favre.
Very good.
Brett Favre.
Hey, Brett Favre did all right.
That's because he played.
All right, so we have a lot of stories today.
So we're gonna go on and talk about another quarterback that's had pretty much the adverse of Peyton Manning, and that's Robert Griffin III, the former Rookie of the Year, and what everybody, at least in 2013, everybody thought it was going to be the next big thing.
Yeah, everyone. He was
a myriad of injuries.
You remember watching him? It was so revolutionary just watching him.
Last 3 seasons have been very rough for him. He's now been cut by the Washington Redskins, the team he had started on. This was a move by Washington to save some cap space, over $16 million.
Yeah, you got to be able to save that money in one way or another.
So he didn't play at all last season.
Because Kirk Cousins came up and let me just be the boss right here.
And he said, "You know what? You like that?
You like that RG3's? He's going to take you down."
With that,
it's crazy what's
he hasn't had really any stats since 2013, I don't think.
No, he played in a few games in 2014, I believe 9 games, put up numbers, about 1,700 yards. It's okay, but it's nothing. But there's nothing to write home about.
We had talked about him last week when we were talking about guys that had such a beautiful start and could have been the next big thing, but they got injured and they were just never the same.
Yeah, I don't really understand.
He was just one of those cases, and it's tragic to see.
Yeah, honestly, it is.
There is talk about what teams might be watching for him. Maybe the Dallas Cowboys, the Jets, the Browns, 49ers, a couple of teams.
I've also heard the Chiefs in there, too, which might be able to help Andy Reid maybe revive his career in some way or another.
I could see Robert Griffin being some sort of a backup. I don't see him starting.
Not at least right away. Maybe battle for a job at the very, top, but he's not going anywhere to get a job, immediately.
Going back on people who have retired, Logan Mankins, the offensive guard with
played last year with the Bucks. No, last year with the Patriots. Last year with the Bucks.
Jesus.
Previous 10 seasons he played with the Patriots. Got traded over there 2 seasons ago for tight end.
He has, after over 11 years in the National Football League. I'm talking really slow. It's like stroke victims.
Here we go.
Mainly with the Patriots, 6 Pro Bowls, 2 Super Bowls, but never won one.
Yeah, which is pretty crazy because I believe he played in the 2 Super Bowls that the Giants won. So that kind of sucks. And then they traded him away before the last season that they won, which against the Seahawks. The Malcolm Smith.
Little victories. That's all I'm talking about. Little victories. So very storied career. He has all the reason to retire. He's put in good work for them.
Yeah, very well could end up in the Hall of Fame. You never know. 6 Pro Bowls? Played in 2 Super Bowls? Who knows?
That's good stuff right there.
Especially out of a guard.
We're also talking some more football moves. The Jacksonville Jaguars cut offensive guard Zane Beadles. He was 29 years old. Many people are calling him a major disappointment after signing a 5-year, $30 million in 2014. He's put up terrible numbers.
Yeah, honestly. I mean, as a guard, he can't really put up numbers, but...
But performance-wise, he's done awful.
Yeah, apparently he was one of the key pieces to having Blake Bortles be one of the most sacked quarterbacks of all time in, I believe, 2014 or 2015. Yeah, 2014.
That poor man.
So that's not going to help his case out at all. He'll probably stick on another team some way down the line.
Yeah, they also said that's probably going to move A.J. Cann from right guard to left guard. So
because he's better, at least a little bit. But apparently,
a little bit of structure movement.
Exactly. The Jaguars apparently still have a horrible line. So they may need to go out in free agency and maybe pick up a few guys. Maybe talk Logan Mankins out of retirement. I don't know. The Jaguars have to do something.
Come back for us.
Blake Bortles can put up good numbers, but a lot of interceptions, a lot of fumbles, just turnovers are his problem. And if he can get a good line in front of him, I don't see why he would have that turnover problem. Andrew Luck, kind of the same thing. So I don't know. I would definitely, if you're the Jaguars, go out there and get a line, please. Some
more players being cut. The Carolina Panthers cut Charles Johnson. He's 29 years old, a constantly injured player with 12 tackles, 1 sack in 10 games last year. This is another cap move, saving Carolina about $10 million. A few years ago, he was racking it up as far as sacks go, 12 in a year in 2012 and 2013.
Yeah, very good player. He's still got something left in the tank. Of course, he's only 29 years old. And, not a good year last year. Obviously injured, but the Panthers obviously didn't mind the Panthers too much. So, yeah, Charles Johnson, I mean, considering it's going to save them a lot of money, and the Panthers do have some key holes to fill up, like the defensive line, because they're getting rid of Charles Johnson, no more Jared Allen, so they just need some solidarity around there.
Key holes to fill.
But, they need some solidarity around there. The Panthers needed to cut him just for the money. He's not putting up the same numbers he used to, but he'll latch onto a team and put up at least decent numbers if he can stay healthy.
Baltimore Ravens making news with 2 stories over the weekend. The first one being them cutting Darryl Smith, the linebacker. He's had his last 3 years are considered really his best. He's had over 120 tackles, averaging over the season.
Which is very good. That's really good.
He's on a cheap contract, but he is getting up in age at 33 years old. So, naturally, they may see something in him that we necessarily don't.
I don't know.
But I was shocked to see that.
Yeah, because 120 tackles per season, that's hard to find. I mean, you put a guy in a middle linebacker or anything, he's going to rack up tackles just because he's there. But this guy is putting up 120 tackles a season. It's fucking good. All right, bottom line. And he's, it's just that he's older. It sucks. In football, when you get older, they just cast you off.
Yeah, man.
It sucks. I don't know.
I never really realized until we started doing the show. The NFL fucks their players.
We're talking about Darryl Smith right now formerly of the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens should latch on somewhere. Yeah. I would take him on my team. 120 tackles, just throw that man in the middle.
I'll be honest, though. The more, we've done this show, I've realized the NFL fucks their players, man.
Yeah, the contracts, the NFL is not a players' league, as you would consider baseball more of.
Yeah, they have a players' union.
Yeah, they have a union, but it doesn't seem to be on the scale of, let's say, baseball. Even basketball has a little bit better, the...
Yeah. Well, the best 2 unions really are the hockey and baseball unions, because they've obviously shown they're not afraid to strike.
Yeah.
In 1994 and a few years ago in 2013 with the hockey lockout, that's
pretty crazy, actually. Yeah.
But
NFL, the refs are the ones that take the lockouts there, so it's surprising to come out. Because in baseball or hockey, if they don't get what they want, they don't
say
play.
Fuck the system, we'll go. But the NFL, it's like they won't cave. They'll fuck their players, but they won't cave to the refs for some
no.
reason.
I mean, Roger Goodell, just
go away.
You're something.
Talking more about the Baltimore Ravens, on Friday, actually, Terrell Suggs, the Ravens linebacker, was arrested after leaving the scene of a car crash, also apparently driving on a suspended license. He was released.
The not fun league, yeah.
You ain't kidding. He was released from jail almost immediately. He wasn't inebriated or any sort of impairment.
Yeah, no DWI,
through drugs or alcohol.
Like that.
He may have fallen asleep at the wheel. This is still early, crime-wise.
Yeah,
so
honestly, something like this, it's not that big of a deal, but it's notable because a lot of football players getting in trouble. Hopefully they can just put this past him. It doesn't seem like something that's going to warrant a suspension. Maybe something within the team.
Maybe a fine.
Yeah, maybe a fine or something within the team, like a team suspension or a team something. But I don't believe the league is going to do anything about this. But clearly the Ravens are having at least a little bit of trouble at linebacker. At least what I would say.
Yeah. We got another story that came up actually during the NFL Combine, which we sadly did not cover as much as we really should have. But neither here nor there. Eli Apple. One of the players at the Combine.
Yeah, former Ohio State
apparently was asked by an Atlanta Falcons, not the head coach, but a coach of the team. He was asked during an interview if he liked men.
Yeah, the coach apparently just asked him, do you like men? And apparently the coach said it as a joke.
I sure hope so.
I mean, it's just weird.
What is this? Don't ask, don't tell it, or just they're hiring on that basis?
I don't quite understand it.
Like, he's a homo.
Yeah, the Combine questions are getting weird, right? Because apparently he said it as a joke, and then Apple kind of gave him the no. Is there a?
It's like that moment where you tell a joke that you think is going to be funny. It turns out it offends a lot of people.
Yeah.
They're like, no, what are you talking about? Well.
Yeah, just.
But it's one.
How does that affect the play?
Not even that. It's like it's one of those things. Like if you're interviewing players, especially at that level, it's just not the time to make a joke like that. With so many reports of people being insensitive about this and people getting offended about that, it's a terrible time to ask something as stupid. And you expect nobody to say anything? A guy that might go to the internet.
Yeah, even his boss came out and said, head coach Dan Quinn came out saying he was really disappointed in what this coach said and how it's not, funny at all and things like that. And it's true because, there's no reason for it. That's really what it is. There's no reason for these kind of questions.
But
maybe if he was trying to land a joke, clearly Eli Apple didn't get it, and maybe he should.
But all I hope is that I just want to know the context of asking that question. Like, was it a legitimate interview question, or was it like, "You gay, bro?
Yeah,
you gay, bro? You like men, bro?"
I don't even understand.
Because I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I don't see
more
news.
NFL.
But that unnamed coach, I don't see him being a coach.
Yeah, if we see anybody getting fired out of the
we'll know who said it.
We'll know who said it.
Talking more football. We have a lot of football.
Yeah, a lot of football stuff today.
New Orleans Saints signing Josh Scobie, the kicker. So he's likely to fight with Kai Forbath.
Kai Forbath also unsigned at this moment, but the Saints are likely to re-sign him. But he's 33 years old. If maybe a good... I mean, Josh Scobie has spent most of his career with the Jaguars and was signed by Pittsburgh last year. Missed all the field goals he took last year for Pittsburgh.
Ooh,
it was only 4, but he missed all of them. And so he was cut. He didn't play last year other than those 4 field goals that he missed. So maybe if him and Kai Forbath can get a little competitiveness going up to the season.
That's strange, though. That's a weird signing because you have a guy who's getting up in age who has had a terrible season last year. And Kai Forbath isn't that bad of a kicker, so it's not like a lesser
the Saints have had kicker problems for the last God knows how long. It's been a while since they've had a good kicker. So maybe
he's not a good kicker, but I wouldn't say he's horrible.
I don't know. And it's Kai Forbath did apparently pretty good for them last season. And I guess they wanted insurance in case Forbath went somewhere else, and they wanted to get Scobie right now. So all right, I guess that's pretty cool.
I guess so. There's not much I can really comment on that. But we are going to talk some more football. We got Lovie Smith going to coach Illinois.
Yeah, the University of Illinois, to be exact. Yes.
Exactly. Coaching some college ball. I guess following in Harbaugh's footsteps.
Yeah, pretty much.
I guess he saw...
Get fired for no good reason, and then take a big-ass contract in college.
Exactly. He spent his last 6 to 10 years with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
He was 6-10 last year with the Buccaneers.
Wow.
He was only with the Buccaneers, I believe, for 2 years. It was surprising fire considering that
I take terrible notes, guys. I'm very sorry.
Yeah, he was surprisingly fired last year.
Yeah, that was weird.
They went 6-10,
rough season,
and that's over pursuing what they thought they would be. They thought they would be a bad team, and they were like, "Nah, I should have got us into the playoff." What? They weren't expected to make the playoffs. Jameis Winston had a good year. Mike Evans, you got that guy.
I said this when he was fired. I said this legitimately. I said, you know what? Tampa Bay has a lot more problems than their coach. They did not solve
exactly. And I mean, the reason they say they did this is because they want Dirk Cotter as their coach, who apparently was supposed to leave, was supposed to be this big head coach candidate, and they wanted Dirk Cotter. He was the main guy. But then why even bring in Lovie Smith a few years ago? I don't understand that. Yeah, and I don't. Dirk Cotter. I hope he becomes a good coach, but I don't. And Lovie Smith is clearly getting paid now, so I don't know.
So yeah, it
works out for everybody, honestly. But he's not in the NFL, which
he's got a 6-year, $20 million deal with the University of Illinois. So
hey, maybe it worked out for everybody. Maybe it did.
We're talking a little bit of baseball here. The Chicago White Sox signing Austin Jackson to a 1-year, $5 million deal after he rejected a much higher offer from the Los Angeles Angels. Yeah. He's probably going to play center field after playing that position with the Cubs last year.
That's the reason why he rejected the Angels offer, because he thought he can get a contract, I guess, with the White Sox or the Cubs, and he ended up with a contract with the White Sox, and he wants to play center field rather than left field, which the Angels would have given him. So I don't know. And to me, it's weird because he was almost guaranteed a spot in Los Angeles, but here he's going to have to fight for a spot with Adam Eaton.
Yeah, that's what I just figured out. Because I was apparently, honestly though, Jackson does seem to be a better defensive player than Eaton, so he might win out over that.
Yeah, exactly. And Eaton isn't bad defensively.
Even offensively, he's still pretty solid, batting .267 last year. So he could be a solid player. I could see him beating out Eaton for that spot.
Yeah, exactly. The White Sox aren't going to be horrible this year. They're going to be an interesting team to watch at the very least. Interesting.
Going back, still talking some baseball here. Johnny Peralta getting injured with a torn ligament in his left thumb.
Yeah, I believe this injury occurred on Saturday.
Yeah, so during preseason. He's going to be out for 2 to 3 months, so he's not coming back until pretty deep into the regular season.
Yeah, at least 2 months into
and that pretty much sucks the power out of the lineup, at least for as long as he's out.
Because who do they have? I mean, Matt Holliday, he has a little bit of power. He's oft injured as well. Johnny Peralta was supposed to be, and it's weird coming from a shortstop. Shortstops only normally provide a lot of power, but apparently he was going to be very powerful in the lineup.
A solid batter.
He's about 20 home runs a year, so that's solid, definitely, especially from a shortstop. That's way above.
And
Matt Adams as well, but Matt Adams is a little streaky.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's that. And and if there's any time for the Cubs, this is when the Cubs are supposed to shoot up and be better than everybody. They're supposed to, if there's a year where the Cardinals are going to do bad and the Cubs are just going to soar, it's going to be this year. There's no other way. The Cardinals and the Cubs, this is perfect position for the Cubs, not good position for the Cardinals. And it would have been interesting if Ian Desmond was still on the market, because maybe they could have signed him.
They could have sucked him in.
Yeah, as a shortstop.
They would have went on without a problem.
Exactly. Now Ian Desmond out there playing left field in Texas. Maybe Texas considers trading him. It would be a very weird thing to trade someone that you just signed for, but it was kind of a sign that you're like, I don't really know, but if you can hit and you can learn left field, go out there. But if they can trade him to an organization that fully needs him and maybe get something decent back, because the Cardinals always have at least a decent farm system.
Yeah. Cardinals. Storied farm system.
Exactly. Well. So I don't know. Let's see what happens. But Johnny Peralta sucks for him.
Yep. Some more injuries going on. Jairo Diaz, a hard-throwing Rockies reliever, will be getting Tommy John surgery, so he will be out this season. Last year, pitching 19 innings with a 2.37 ERA, and
that's pretty good for the Rockies.
But this seems to be another victim in the Tommy John surgery.
Yeah, and I just wanted to mention him because, I mean, obviously we're going to mention most injuries, like most notable injuries, But we want to cover all the Tommy John surgeries this year
Because
to show how much of an epidemic this really is.
Yeah, us at Season Ticket, we've really pointed to the fact this is becoming a very bad epidemic. A number of
very
pitchers,
much so.
almost every year now, a number of pitchers. Last year, we didn't lose anyone big last year, but the year before, Tanaka was taken out for Tommy John surgery.
Yu Darvish as well out there last year.
And earlier than that, Zach Wheeler last year having to get Tommy John surgery. Before that, it was Matt Harvey. You know, all these...
Jose Fernandez as well.
Exactly,
it's ridiculous.
all these notable pitchers.
And while this guy may not be the big-name pitcher, he could have been a key cog in that Rockies pen. 2.37 ERA in the Rockies system. That's really good because that's hard to do.
That's still shocking, though, because it's a player every year. Now, understandably, there might be a lot more minor players that we don't know about, not counting the minor.
But the major league guys we're going to talk about mainly. The major league guys and the notable minor league guys. So it's honestly, I don't know. Yes, that is true. Whatever you just said.
Yeah. All right.
So a very heated story.
So this is a developing story with Jairo Diaz. We will stay on this along with other Tommy John surgeries.
Yeah.
And, maybe a special episode. Keep that in mind.
Definitely.
We'll figure it out. We're still talking some baseball here. Chase Utley's suspension by the MLB was successfully overturned after being appealed by Chase Utley. The MLB tossed out the case after claiming the rules were not clear enough at the time. For those that don't know, Chase Utley, during the NLDS in October last year...
That was a clean shot. It's like, shut the hell up.
Get the hell out of here.
Stop
Did
watching
you watch that
show.
tape? Yeah, jerk off.
That would never be a clean slide. In the history of slides, that's not even remotely close to a clear...
You're probably a troll. Because anybody... Fans
regardless,
from sports the world over. Washington National fans.
Even if that was my team, I would not condone... I mean, I would say, okay, good, we got off. But I wouldn't promote that kind of slide. Look at the older slide. We're not playing in the older leagues right now. This is 2016.
No, but you know what? I don't give a shit about people who are talking about older slides. I watched that, and not only because
the asshole shorts. Please, come on.
Because not only was, the guy on my team, but I looked at that. He was going right for him. Now I understand.
There was no attempt.
It's been a long time. They've always tried to break up the play, but Ruben Tejada was
past the bag.
Exactly. Ruben Tejada was way off the baseline. I will maintain that to this day. I was watching that game in real time. He was way off the baseline. Chase Utley, and when he slid into him, he made no attempt to reach back. Made no inclination that he was trying to slide. It looked like, all right, fine. Maybe he was like, force out. I'll try to break this up. But you got to stay in the baseline. That's what you learn in Little League, and I seriously think it's disgusting that they allowed him to not only stay at second base, but go on to score.
Yeah,
fairly giving them a win. But, no, I don't know.
Hey, the Mets came back to win that series. Honestly, this would be a lot bigger story if the Mets didn't win that series.
Oh, they would want his head on the plate.
They would literally crucify him. I know guys from New York. I know Mets fans from New York, and it gets bad.
But the rules obviously have been changed, as we covered in earlier episodes, so that probably won't be happening again.
And at least there will be some kind of repercussion, at least next time.
We're talking some more baseball here. We got so much shit to talk about. Oh, my God. We have
6 minutes to do it, so let's get on our horse.
Macier Isaac Turris retiring. He was in the Blue Jays camp. He's one of the last two players to play for the Montreal Expos. The other being our boy.
Bartolo Colon,
the other
my boy.
Guy being our boy, Bartolo Colon, played nearly 2,000 innings at third base, shortstop, and first base, I believe he also played.
Oh, yeah, I put third. Yeah, sorry for the... it was third base.
As if anybody else is looking at these notes. I'm sorry.
Third base, shortstop, and second base. He played about 2,000 innings at each one of those, so it's very good.
Some career numbers.
Very versatile.
Career average of 269, 39 home runs, over 400 runs, and nearly 340 batted in, making $24 million over his career. A very good player. It'll be sad to see him go. He obviously put up great numbers. A workhorse, if you're looking at 2,000 innings at each position. So that's something very important.
Now we got some basketball stuff to cover. I'll take this over right now. We have...
Because I know nothing about basketball. So... Scott's going to take that over for me.
Here we go. Rapid fire. Basketball signings. A lot of shit happened this week. That's how we do this. The Rockets signed Michael Beasley. Big deal because he was the Chinese League MVP, averaging 32 points a game and shooting 37% from three. that is crazy because in his NBA career, he's averaged 13 points and 5 rebounds a game. So he's pretty much, and now he's coming to the NBA after being this big star over in China to get a minimum salary contract for the rest of the season. It really shows how superior the NBA is to all the leagues. Hey man, you're
breaking it back into America. That's where you want to be, right? This is where you get the T-shirt, the TV time. Come on now. Who wouldn't want to go to the NBA?
I'm just saying. And another interesting one, the Pacers signing Ty Lawson, minimum salary rest of the season, because that's pretty much the kind of role we're going on here. His career is very much tailed off. He used to be a big key piece with the Nuggets. Kind of a ball hog. People consider him not a true point guard, but Steph Curry isn't a true point guard either, and I'll take him any day of the week. But Ty Lawson doesn't fit in a lot of teams. Maybe he'll fit in with the Pacers. Clearly they think so. They signed him to this deal, minimum salary, rest of the season. Averaged 6 points per game and 3 assists this year. So, I don't know. Maybe he can revive his career with the Pacers, or maybe next year. I have no idea what's going to happen with him. Very interesting move, I thought, because, the Spurs don't make bad moves. They signed Kevin Martin. They just don't make bad moves.
He ain't going to fuck with that.
So, they signed Kevin Martin this past week, and he was bought out by the Timberwolves earlier this season. Apparently, they were looking to trade him at the deadline, but could not. So, they're not saying exactly what the contract is, but it's likely for the rest of the season at minimum, league minimum. This year, he averaged 11 points, 2 rebounds, assists, in 21 minutes of play. His career average is significantly more than that, 18 points, 3 boards, and 2 assists. So there's that. It'll be good depth for San Antonio, which also has a lot of good depth already. They're going to be a good team, somebody to definitely contend with the Warriors over there. All right, and then we have the Thunder signing Nazir Muhammad. Very interesting name. Hadn't played in a while. And minor move, hasn't played since the Bulls last season. And those numbers even then were abysmal because he doesn't get too much playing time. It's a very weird move for them, I think, because they've already got 3 big guys on their team, Cantor, Steven Adams, and Mitch McGary. Very weird, I think. And then this provides depth and a big body to them, which I guess they need down the stretch run, them making the playoffs. He also almost retired in October, so it's just a weird move, I think, for the Thunder.
So, a lot of basketball moves. Keep in mind, we're running out of time on our Spreaker show. We do have some...
We will get it done. Here we go. Suns, they signed Chase Budinger. I believe that's how you say his name. He just got his contract bought out by the Pacers.
Let him go.
Here we go. Veterans minimum, rest of the season, same deal as the rest of them. 27 years old, averaged 4 points per game, 2 boards, 1 assist. Career, again, significantly more than that. He's also played with Houston, Minnesota for his career. Minnesota, actually, he did a lot of good work there back when the Minnesota's Timberwolves are still bad. But they're on the rise. And Chase Budinger is now with the Suns, so there's that. The Knicks, today, signed Tony Wroten. No full details on the contract have come out, but they said it's most likely a 2-year deal, and he's going to play. It's mainly for next season, even though there's no guaranteed money for next season. They're going to give him money for this season, but he's probably not going to play this season due to some health concerns because he tore his ACL last year, came back, and then he's been treading water. He hasn't really been in or out. He still has health problems, so I don't know what's really going on with this. Clearly more details will come out, but I don't know. Knicks, good luck. Something? Okay. One more basketball story. We have Michael Carter-Williams being out for the season, hip injury. It doesn't really affect much because the Bucks aren't going to make the play. No offense to him. Bucks aren't going to make the playoffs. They're 12th in the Eastern Division. I know the East is bad, but they're not making the playoffs. He may never play for the Bucks again because he, sucks. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, no, he might not play for the Bucks anymore. 11 points per game, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. Obviously, a lot worse than his Rookie of the Year season a few years ago. And, he was even benched this earlier in the season by Jason Kidd, because fuck Jason Kidd. I am a Nets fan, bitter Nets fan.
We're going to, some hockey to talk about. The Ottawa Senators signing Scott Gomez to a prorated 1-year, $575,000 career
deal.
Contract. He's 36 years old. He played 21 games with the St. Louis Blues. He's had some playing time with the New Jersey Devils, Rangers, Sharks, Panthers, and obviously St. Louis.
Yes.
He has 1066 games over his career with 181 goals. A solid player, but getting up in age, so he may not have that much.
It'll just provide good depth for them.
And I can't believe it. We have a soccer story, it seems.
Yes, the Rapids acquiring Jermaine
hold
Jerome.
on, we will cover that on our after show.
So shut up. We're getting this done.
We have 30 seconds.
Shut up.
Stop.
The New England Revolution trade Jermaine Jones to the Rapids in exchange for money and a Rapids first-round pick of next year. Spent last year and another half of a season with the Revs. 34 years old. He's German. He's a defensive midfielder. He's going to do good work for them. If you might remember him from the World Cup, he's been on the U.S. national team. He's a good guy. Now give this dedication. 10 seconds.
We'll see everybody in the Spreaker in the cheap seats. We'll go further in depth on Periscope. See you there.